This video comes to you unedited, unscripted, without any sort of preconceived notion of what I'm about to say, other than a random draw of a meditation and the assistance of a few tarot cards to kind of guide the message further along. In the spirit of meditation and the beginner mind, these videos are meant to capture the unfurling of thoughts that occur when one sits down in the moment and just kind of lets their thoughts naturally flow. The meditation for today is Tao over fire. I'm going to go ahead and read the passage in the Tao Stone Oracle for Tao over fire. We're just going to go with the meditation passage today because I like to just get into it. There are two great forces here. Tao, the way, and fire, great destroyer, but also bringer of warmth and power. You have great potential, but you need to find the right guide, the Tao, to harness the forces in such a way as to do what is right and proper. If you do, then the future can be bright. So, we are talking about actions. What actions we're about to take, what actions need to be taken, and what is the right way or the best way to perform these actions. When we look at the Tao of fire, or the way of fire, fire is an element that consumes. It consumes whatever it touches, and that fuels it and makes it stronger. If one were to put too much fuel behind a fire, it can run out of control. Too little fuel, and it won't even illuminate a small room. So when we talk about action, there are things that surely we all would like to do in our lives. We would like to accomplish something. Our passions drive us. Fire is passion. Our passions drive us to make our lives better, to do what needs to be done in order to bring about the best results in our lives, to accomplish something. So looking at the element of fire and the natural way that it goes, it illuminates, it can destroy, it can bring warmth and comfort, it can heat the food that we have, or that we cook. When we're cooking food, we use fire or some sort of variation thereof. Heat. There's a heating element to fire that allows us to cook our food and nourish ourselves. So, how are you fueling your fire before you take action? How much fuel are you using? If there's a lot behind our actions, we can be a force to be reckoned with. We can directly affect what's in front of us. Too much fuel, and we may misstep. Too much passion behind what we're doing, we may insist on trying to control the situation. Because the fire of our passion is just running wild. And if something gets in the way of that, it can easily be destroyed. As you're looking at the actions that you're about to perform today, be it going to work, going to work on a project they haven't worked on for a while. You know, we're getting to at the time that this video is being recorded, it's a timeless message. But in this moment that I'm sitting here recording this video, we're about to go into the sun in Scorpio. And a new moon in Scorpio as well. With the new moon in Scorpio, there is a calling to take direct action in order to end the cycles, put an end to the cycle, and begin a new one. So any of our actions need to tie up any loose ends that we have in our lives. That seems to be the calling for this particular moment that I'm sitting here. What this moment might mean to you once you see this video might be another story. But in order to find the right way and the right action, we have to do what flows in balance with the moment. We can't place too much pressure on something that is fragile, and we can't put too little effort on something that almost feels insurmountable. So when it comes to our passions and what we want to accomplish, and the actions that we take in relation to those passions, I suppose the message that we're receiving with this meditation is that we need to make sure that we are directing our actions in a way that is calm, that is not overbearing, but not too light. To find the right balance of how our passions are made manifest through our actions in the world itself. Yeah, it's through that energy that we can properly accomplish what we set out to do. Gonna go ahead and flip it over to the cards. See if there's further insights that we can get from that. I thank all who have been here from the beginning, all who have stayed with this video so far. I think you truly understand what the purpose is of this exercise, and you're just the kind of collective that aligns with this type of content. I thank you. If you feel somebody else needs to hear this, go ahead and share it with them. And give any likes or comments if you have any questions. Let's find out what the collective needs to hear through the cards. Yeah, discernment. We have the Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords has to deal with discernment. Finding new ways to find truth and deception within the moment, to have clarity. A newfound clarity in this particular case of the aces. The aces are always this unmanifested idea or unmanifested feeling that has not quite been manifest, of course, but that's kind of calling to us. Let's go ahead and find the next card. So when I was talking about us tempering our fire, these are two elements that need to be taken into account. Now, with the Eight of Cups, we are talking about a sense of nostalgia, usually. With this combination of the clarity that's being provided with the Ace of Swords, I do kind of see a different way. Taking new ideas, but also taking the feelings that we have of these new ideas and how they reflect on past experiences that we may have had. In a way, the Ace of Swords does kind of deal with getting rid of trouble, or being rid of troubles, but new troubles emerging. Through that experience and the memories that we have, we kind of find a refinement, a way to take these new ideas and to use them in a practical sense. So when I was talking about how do we temper our fire, how do we fuel our fire, it seems like the cards are kind of telling us that, we have to take our experiences, our failures that we had before, but also our successes that we had before, and to kind of put that together and refine our ideas in a way that works practically, but is also in alignment with where we are now. Memory is one of those things where people can get trapped in their memories, reliving them over and over and over again. And that's not the intention of this. The intention of this is to take those past experiences and to bring that experience into alignment with the actions that we're about to take, the ideas that we're about to actually push forth into the world. Let's see what the third card has to do to kind of cap off and tie off this message. You know what? If it's important, we're just going to relax. We're not trying to control this. We're just letting it unfold. If there's any hesitation when I'm drawing a card, I am of the mind where if it's important, it'll come back up again. Once again, 2. Okay. Alright, so it looks like 2 cards keep coming out on us, so let's kind of take this into effect here. Now, with the 2 of Swords, when we take action, we have to actually make a decision. And sometimes we hesitate on making the decision because we're not fully in sync with where our heart is guiding us. Our heart is kind of like the feelings that we have. It's kind of like a North Star in a sense when we're going through our journeys. And if we close ourselves off from where our heart is actually guiding us, where our soul, our spirit is actually guiding us, it causes confusion. It causes imbalance in our mind. 2 is typically a number of balance, but with the 2 of Swords, there's 2 weights that are kind of pulling on us, and we're not being honest with ourselves. So, a lot of times these past experiences that we're talking about, that can cause the confusion. It can cause the blockage that people have in making a determinate action, but we have to just let it flow. You have to allow yourself to open up and let it flow in order to make the proper decisions, to take the proper actions. That's kind of the essence of the philosophy behind Taoism, is to let things flow in a natural sort of way, but in the direction of creation. Sometimes destruction does lead to further creation, but it's just what the situation calls for. We're supposed to be living within the moment and seeing how the moment informs us. We also have the Nine of Pentacles. So the abundance that comes from our actions can only come when we are acting in a way that is in honest alignment with ourselves. It is also through the process that we were talking about earlier that we can find where that alignment is. So I guess if there's anything that this is telling us, me included, is if we want things to naturally flow towards a way of abundance, and we want our actions to actually have an effect on our future, a positive effect on our future that helps cultivate a greater life, we have to do it in alignment with ourselves. And in order to be acting in alignment with ourselves, we actually have to just open up and understand where our intentions are, our thoughts and our directions that our passions are giving us are truly what best serves us. You know, we can, when there is this misalignment, when there is this confusion, we can often talk down to ourselves. We can often cheat ourselves out of taking action before we have anything that actually verifies that we can or cannot take the action. We have to at least try. But when there's that imbalance, we have a hesitation to even try to make the decisions, to even try to take the actions. And that's not going to serve us. It's definitely something to think about. All right. It's a bit of a long one, but that's okay. I'm glad for all of you who stayed up to this point, sharing this moment. I really do appreciate it. With that, I'm Jeff. This is Illuminated Fate. I'll see you again next time.